I greatly appreciate it. And I really want to welcome everyone. This is one of the best opportunities that was presented to me a few years ago. And I am looking forward to sharing you a little bit about the what it has, how it has impacted personally, and also how it in these times of everything that we're going through, how it has evolved in my life, in my family, and I am very pleased and honored to be on this call. So I'm a little nervous because I'm so excited. I am very grateful, and I humble myself to say thank you for being on this call because I know the difference is going to make in your life. But so let me clear this up. Let's have some coffee, which is why I am so fired up because the coffee is so delicious. And I've always been a coffee drinker, but never, ever did I knew that coffee was a healthy thing to consume. Because all my doctors always told me, stop drinking coffee if you want to take care of your nerves, if you want to take care of all the symptoms that you have back then. But you know what? I didn't change my coffee. I changed doctors. I'm like, he don't know what he's saying. This is what I need. My body needs this. But now I could say that I drink it at peace because it's a healthy product. So welcome everybody to Organo. I'm drinking Supreme. Let's all have a little sip. And of course, I had to show you guys. I had to share this with you because one of the things that have changed and transformed my life is how I think of things. How now I don't hesitate to second guess me because of all the development that we have acquired. The inspiration of everybody in this industry has been giving me a total second opportunity in my life, right? So yes, now let's get started. My name is Barbara Olaguez. I am originally, I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. My parents are immigrants. They're from Mexico, Durango. It's one of the states that is on the north side of Mexico. Um, so I am I was really blessed being brought over here. I was actually planned. I was actually planned when my mom was expecting me. I was planned to be born in the USA because back then, I would share this with you because I think it's important that you know my roots and you know where I come from and where we stand and what we have done through the journey. So they brought my mom when she was 4 months pregnant to the United States. She came with the resources that they had back then, and here we are. I was born, and we have. I am the 10th of 11 of us. So I was the last child because my younger sister, she passed away when she was only a couple weeks old. Um, but yeah, that's how we came to the United States. And after that, my parents always wanted us to succeed. They always wanted us to have an education, have a career, have something to fall back on. And my dad always told me, don't depend on anyone or anything. I was so young, and he instilled that in me. So throughout my years, I was by myself with him because my mom had to go back with my the rest of my siblings after I was 4 years old. My dad got he got deported, so we had to go back. But my dad said, no, I need to go back because my daughter needs my family needs to go to the United States because that's where the opportunity was. That's what it was put it instilled in us, that this is the place of the opportunity, the dreams come true, and everybody that would work hard and had a expectation with a goal would achieve it. So that's how my dad came about that. um, and well, throughout the years, I am a single mom right now. I've been divorced for, wow, it's been a good, I want to say a good, oh my God, how old is my daughter? She's 18, 17 years. It's going on 17 years. And I had 4 kids. I mean, I have 4 kids. Now they're all adults. But throughout my divorce, when I separated, what helped me, I need to share this because it's important for me because that's what helped me, was that I was introduced to the network marketing business a while back. and I took advantage of the system. It taught me, I was 18 or 19, and it taught me the importance about reading, about self-development, about investing in myself, investing in what is called self-development. Um, and of course, we are, I mean, we're surrounded by the majority of people that do not see it that way. It's a very low percentage of the people that are working within themselves, that are acknowledging or taking responsibility that your life doesn't depend on anything but yourself. A good thing my dad kind of said that at a young age. So it kind of helped me facilitate my flexibility to do that extra and say, I'm not happy where I'm at. My marriage was going down the drain. I had my second child, then my third child, then my fourth child. And and I said, okay, this, I got to do something. It's something's not right. And I was not being me. I was not doing the things I wanted to do. I was not working where I wanted to work. I was not making ends meet the way I wanted to make ends meet. And so that kind of threw me off. And when I was presented with this opportunity, I saw I had hope. I had hope. I had how you call it? Um, like I'm like, wow, there's something out there that I can actually do. I'm already a mom of 4 kids, or well, back then it was 2 kids. I had my 2 boys first and then my 2 girls later. I said, wow, there is something I can actually do, because back then it was all about if you have a full education. I was educated till I took some semester, I took some classes for me to become a tax preparer. And so I was not really um, a college material. I was not a university material. I didn't have a bachelor's. I didn't have all this. But guess what? My performance in my jobs that I was doing, I would always exceed it. I would always exceed. I would always, why? It was not that I was smarter. It's because I wanted it to do more. I didn't want to stay at the front line. I didn't want to stay where I started. I wanted to advance. I wanted to learn more. So all that is because I wanted to succeed. But then I felt like I was in a rat race, like nothing was happening. I was just maybe having a vacation, maybe once a year, we would go on a vacation for 1 week. Maybe once a year, I mean, once a month, we would go out and eat in a nice fancy restaurant, if, so a lot of the things, and I saw nice cars. I mean, I bought a new car, but it was what I could afford. It was a Chevrolet. I mean, that's what I could afford. But it was not. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying is you live in the standards that you live you're living in a daily somebody's telling you how what to drive, what clothes to wear. I mean, I remember I bought a Chanel purse in payments. It was like, wow, just because I wanted one. I wanted my perfume and I bought it in payments. And then my son was 2 years old and he gets into my purse that I'm paying, and he opens the bottle of my cologne that I'm still paying. He opens it up, he spills it, that the whole thing is on the carpet on him. I'm like, OMG. So I'm just giving you examples where I come from and why I have, when this opportunity was presented to me, I saw that it was something that light at the end of the tunnel was there for me. I'm very emotional because exactly what I went through back in the day is exactly what has happened for the past 5 months. So many families out there that need hope. They need something that they can do, something besides a paycheck. How many educated people with careers, with years in their businesses or years in the industry that they're dedicated to are laid off? It saddens me because when people tell me they complain about the last 5 months, I said, you know what? When I got divorced, I lasted this quarantine with 4 kids. You become so creative. You become this strong human creative person because you have a goal. I have 4 kids to raise. I have a life to carry on. I had given up on it. But I said, no, I looked at my kids. I wanted to have my kids. I didn't have them by accident. I have them because I wanted to have a big family. I remember when my first child, I was just with my mom upstairs yesterday or a couple of days ago, that I said to her, we are 10 of us. And on the 10 of us, only I have 4 kids, and one brother has 5, and the other one has 4. But the rest of my siblings have 2 or 3 kids. And I remember that when I had my child, my first son, I said, Mom, she was in labor with me, and I said, Mom, I do not want to have child. How did you put yourself through all this pain? This is terrible. I remember her pulling her. She was holding my hands and I was pulling her back and forth. And I'm like, no, ma, this is terrible. Why do you put yourself through so much pain? And guess what? I had 4 kids because they're the most beautiful thing. That was the most amazing creature I hold on my hands. So when I had my second child, I was kind of going through some crisis, personal crisis, and I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna have a second child? We don't even do this, we don't even do that. Again, in that life, in that momentum, in that moment where you feel like you haven't achieved anything and you're stuck, and while you have another child, another responsibility. But you know what? It was the greatest thing that happened to me. Because then I was so eager to have my third child, then very eager to have my fourth child. And even though I got divorced because of that process between those kids, it was a 10-year process. It was 10 years between them. So I had 2 boys first and then my 2 girls after. So in those 10 years, what I want to share with you is this is very important. If you hear anything from this call, I want you to understand this. Do not block yourself from opportunities. Do not think you know it all. Do not think you understand everything, because there's so much out there that we do not understand. Why is there so much stuff going out there right now? How many people are actually educated? How many people know that this has been going on for years, for centuries? If you're not educated, educate yourself in anything. If it's about your finances, if it's about your health, if it's about your children, your family, if it's about your beliefs, work on them. Don't block yourself from growing as a human being. Don't block yourself from helping yourself and becoming someone that is worth living, that you feel that you're worth living, that you feel that you have a purpose. As soon as when they would tell me a purpose, I'm like, I know a purpose. I All I want is to pay my bill. All I want is to pay my rent on time. If you're there, welcome. That was me. Welcome, because that was me. All I wanted to know was, how can I get an extra $300? How can I get an extra $500 a month? How can I get my car fixed on time? Or how can I replace my car? Or how can I go on vacation for not a weekend? I want a whole week. I want 10 days. I want 2 weeks. How can I do that? How can I make sure my kids go to a good school where they're not 30 students in one classroom? How can I achieve that? How can I go to a good zip code? How can I live in a good area? All those things were my worries. And if you're in that platform, if you're in there, congratulations for being on this call. That's why I said plug in, listen, open your mind. There's so many things out there that I'm 50 years old. I don't know it all. I realize I know less than I ever knew in my life. You believe that? You would think, well, you already raised 4 kids, you had your career, you had this, you had that. Okay, going back, what did I do? Remember, I went to school, or I took classes to become a text preparer. I found that was one of the things that I really love doing. And back then I was in the system where I was reading and going to self-development seminars, going to conventions, learning about the 20 percenters out there, right? You're 80% of the population. 80% means you depend on what's going around you. Most of us depend, when we're in that phase, we depend on what's going around you. So whatever happens with the government, whatever happens in your community, whatever happens in anything around you, you let it happen to you. You have no control. You lose control. So one of the things that I learned is that it's not that you don't have any more problems. It's that you look at solutions. You say, okay, I have this issue. What are my options to fix it? or how long am I going to be stuck here? But what am I doing in the meantime to get out of it? If it takes you a year, if it takes you 2 years, if it takes you 3 years, but in your heart and in your mind, you're at peace because you know you're working towards fixing it. So going back to what my background is, I became a tax preparer. I've been doing it for a good 20 years. And I also learned that I needed to have someone to guide me, someone to teach me. So I worked for this company, and I exceeded every I didn't want to become like a district manager. I wanted to become knowledgeable of the products. And when I started that, I remember I'm not very savvy when it comes to like books. So when I started doing that, I remember that my test, I was so low. I mean, I think I liked the teacher. And the only reason why I went into that classroom is when I walked into the parking lot and I saw he was driving a Cadillac. And I saw a Cadillac parking, and I went in and I said, because I like cars, I like houses. Those are the two things that I love. Okay. Um, so when I walked in there, I asked one of the students, one of the pupils there. I said, "Hey, do you know whose car that is? It's a really nice car." And she's like, "Yeah, that's the teacher's car." I'm like, "Really?" And he looked so humble. He was just like an average person. And so anyway, so when I did the test, I looked at him and I said, "Oh my God, this is so hard. I don't think I could do this." And he said, "Barbara, you have when you're learning something, especially here, if you want to learn taxes, it's not about you knowing everything here. It's about resources. It's about you having the ability to get the resource. You need to become very resourceful, and you have that ability." He said, "You have the ability. You will be successful in this industry if you stay long enough and learn the basics, learn the principles of this, and you will have the ability to have, as long as you know what the resources are, you'll be good." And you know what? Thanks to him, I was an overachiever. I never did over, like I borderline on my test, but I did really great on taking care of the customers, and retaining the customers, and getting new customers every year. I exceeded all of them. I changed offices every year. I had that confidence in me because no matter what office I worked, I will acquire new clients, and the all older ones will follow me. And you know what? After all these years, I analyzed my life and I said, wow, I've been doing really, I learned the principles of managing a business. So when I left the state, I was in Texas for 6 years. When I divorced, I came back to Chicago. And when I came back to Chicago, the 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 company I was working for said, "You know what? They ignored my emails. They didn't rehire me, blah blah blah," because I was like a threat to them. I feel like because unfortunately that's what the corporates are. And I was not even interested in management. I just wanted to work. I was just divorced, blah blah blah. So what happened is they hired somebody to I mean, that's when the opportunity came for me to open up my own practice. And that's when I started saying, wait a minute, if I did this many returns here for this year and I was not even in the city, then that means I could succeed. So what happened is that I went along and I opened up my own practice. And ever since, I applied all the principles that I had learned in those 10 years of being in a system of self-development that helped me become entrepreneur mindset. And this is what we're sharing today. This is what I want you to learn. I want you to understand that we're always learning, that we're human beings with hunger. We're hungry for knowledge. We're hungry for success. We're hungry for abilities other than the regular standard lifestyle, which is great. If you're not there and you want to get there, this is the way to do it. So when Organo was presented to me, I was in my office working. I was succeeding already, but I was also struggling a little bit because I was working so many days, 7 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day. I had my girls; they were still young. They were really young, and when I kind of left the business, like I had left the business, the multi-level business, for like, I think a good 6 years when I kind of like when I was going through my transition of the divorce and all that and moving back to Chicago. So when Organo was presented to me was again, you know how I felt when I said, well, I have this big debt. How can I clear it? And when I said, well, just give me the compensation plan, because I thought I knew what multi-level business was. I thought I had it all in my hand, that I had all figured out. So I said, you know what, give me the compensation plan. I need to make this much. I need to get this out of debt. I need to know what I need to do to clear this debt out. And that's exactly the person made a meeting with me. My sponsor, I went and I sat down with him. He went to my office. I had 3 people sitting there with me to listen to me after he gave me the presentation. So I've never been a dependent of something, but I do want to learn. I do want to learn from people. And I learned that it was the best thing for me to do, because if I depended on something, my whole life would have been a total different lifestyle. So this is how it was presented to me. And as soon as he told me, you need so many people to create this income, guess what I did? It took me 3 months from my office doing calls, come over, I'll give you some coffee. I sample whichever way I could. I didn't know nothing about the company. I didn't know nothing so convincing about what I was doing. But you know what I know? I knew that this was the right company for me, the right compensation plan. Coffee, I drink. There was no brainer. Um, so just so you have an idea, this was me 10 years later after being in this situation. And it transformed my decisions. It transformed my life. I enjoyed everything I was doing. I started working out. I started feeling better. I started being more concerned about my health. I started feeling like I have more responsibility in my hands, but in a good way. My kids started growing up. My boys stayed with their dad. They went to college. They graduated. They came back with me years later. And then the girls were with me the whole time. So they were with me doing everything that I was involved in the system. One of the things that helped me, because I had no idea what I had to do, all I know is that I had to bring people in and that I was able to help them make an income, even if it's 200-300 a week. They were going to stay with me. But you know how hard it is for people to understand that this business actually works? I mean, we're surrounded by the majority that have no clue or not even give it a try. They don't even give it a try. They think they just sign up and a miracle's going to happen. No, you need to go to work. This is like anything else. Anything else you do in life and you want to succeed. I have not known to this day a person that has not worked something and got a great outcome out of it to this day, especially in this industry. So anybody that tells me that, oh, well, I learned about this company, I'm like, no, 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 no. You need to hear it from me, because this is what I learned. I need to share what I learned with you. I said, forget what you learned, erase that memory and come into the game. And this is how I was so inspired to stay in the company, because it gave me that freedom. And I was taking a product that was actually healthy. Coffee. I mean, I would drink jars of coffee back then. We had those coffee makers. I would drink 1 a day or 2 a day in my office throughout the day without counting the customers drinking from it. So this was a simple thing. It was so simple, and I was so grateful to have the opportunity that to see other women like me with kids, single parents, or financial situation. I was doing their taxes. I knew their income. I knew they were struggling. And for me to be able to say, hey, do you know that you can also do this? That I don't have time, and you think I do. So I was a perfect example. But remember, not the majority of people are looking. They all want something. Everybody wants to receive something. The majority are not givers. I mean, we don't want to give our time. We don't want to give even our knowledge sometimes. We're kind of stubborn that way. So today, this morning on Friday, the 21st of August, I want to share with you. If you have doubts within yourself and you get connected in these calls, we have Monday, we have Wednesday and Friday in English. We have Saturday, we have Sundays. We have so much going on. It's incredible. And I'm going to get forward right now. I'm going to go forward where we're at this moment. Why did I say it has been a transition for me? Because we all have to go through a process. We all have to go through a process to understand where you're heading, to be able to make the best of where you're at. And right now, for example, when people tell me, and I could tell you with ease, I'm not crying anymore because it still hurts me what I went through in the beginning. I still haven't got over it. But right now, when they tell me, Barbara, how is it that you're managing, you have your accounting, I mean your tax preparation? I said, I work from home. It's been 3 years since I closed my office. My girls graduated from high school, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, from grammar school, I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I need to spend more time with them. They're gonna go off to college. They're gonna do exactly what my boys did. Once they went off to college, they didn't come home. So I'm like, I have to enjoy my daughters for the next 4 years. They're high school because they go to college if they want to. And what's going to happen? I'm not going to get to enjoy them. So that was essentially why I closed my office. And then the second thing is I have the freedom because I had three sources of income. I had my office and I had a cleaning service, which I did as soon as I got divorced because I needed like cash. I needed something fast, right? I was a loan officer back then. So somebody asked me if I knew anybody that could clean a house. I had a best friend that knew how to do the business, but I didn't ask her to come and clean the house. I asked her if I could work for her, if she could show me how to clean so I can become an entrepreneur and have my own cleaning service because I needed cash. I was in closing loans. That was back in 2010 when the economy was really bad with the mortgage industry. So that's how I started my cleaning business. And now here I am. I've been doing the taxes from my home. I keep most of my good clients. They stay. They're here. And then I also do my cleaning service. And I also schedule everything according, because tax season is only from so months to so months. So it gives me the ability, because of the system that I acquired, the knowledge, how to manage your time and be efficient. Then that's how I kind of learn how to kind of control my time and my schedule. So everything is pretty much under control. Sometimes it gets a little hectic. Sometimes personal things happen. So yes, it's hard to be perfect. I'm not telling you I'm perfect. If I was perfect, I would be a diamond. But you know what? Because I know I have to make so many mistakes to achieve so much, because I want to be responsible and have the ability and have the knowledge and have the heart to help all those 1,000 people that are going to create that diamond ship in my life. And I want to be able to provide for them the knowledge, to have the time, to have the resource, to have the ability, and to have the heart. Because this business, or any business you do, if you're doing something just for money, it's only going to last so long. But if you start doing it for the right reasons, for your principles, I'm not saying it's wrong. Trust me, I need the money. I started this business with the money in mind, but because it gave me the help and it gave me the freedom to start understanding and feel at peace within myself, I started loving this industry. I started embracing everything. So no matter what has happened throughout the past 7 years that I've been in here, it has only made me stronger. It has only made me more convinced that what I decided to do has been the best choice of my life. And yes, we do. I mean, we do think back and we reflect on stuff. And I'm like, I could have done this. Oh, I should have been this. You know what? Don't do that to yourself. Do it for a second and reflect on it. Write it down and say, okay, what could I have done right? What could I have done different? But you know what? If I had not done this, I would have not done this, or I had not gone this far. So me being in Organo, first we were introduced to when I started, it was all about the coffee, the tea. It was delicious. It was amazing. I would use the hot cocoa for my protein shakes. So I already kind of started, that's when I started being more careful with my nutrition. So when OGX Phoenix was introduced to the industry, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I went all the way to Mexico City when they launched, excuse me, when we launched it in Mexico City. I was so like, wow, this is gonna take over the world. This is what most of the majority of people are now emphasizing in more of their health, and this is what we have to offer now. That is amazing, and to know that it's got the Ganoderma lucidum in it, wow. I mean, that was like I was over the edge. So that was an amazing journey as well. So myself, I went from a certain size, from a size 11 to a size 8. I've only was that slim when I was single before I had my kids. So imagine me being a mom of 4 kids, and I was under control of I was finally getting under the habit of because everything is a mindset. Diets is like a mindset. This business is a mindset. So I had to program my mind for 10 years to eat proper, not to eat this, not to eat that, to cut off on this. Or if you're gonna do that extra calorie, you gotta burn it like this. Is it worth you going 20 minutes on a treadmill to burn 20 calories? No. Okay, then you start doing those things. So same thing with the business. We also have to have the same perspective. I mean, I cannot say, oh, I'm going to be a diamond. What am I? If can I mean, yes, I manage 4 kids. I raise 4 kids. I have a few people in my organization. Am I really dedicated to them? Am I really knowledgeable? Am I really resourceful? Am I really, ready for this? Then when I told myself I'm ready for this, I started working on it. I started emphasizing more on I want to attract the right people. I want to be an attraction. I don't want to be begging. I don't want to be calling. I don't want to be doing all those things that I was doing, but thanks to those things got me where I'm at, right? So your perspective of work, anything that you're doing becomes a little bit different. And this is when you start enjoying life. This is when you don't feel a burden in your back. This is when you don't feel like all these terrible things in your mind. Your mind starts clearing up because you're doing the right things. You're finally letting be led by your heart. That's why I said, once you get to that phase in your life, in anything you do, in your diet, in your finances, in your business, in your work, I don't care if you're working for somebody. I worked for somebody a lot of years. There's nothing wrong with it if you're fine with it. But if you want more, you need to look for something else. You need to get out of the box. You need to exceed your expectations. And now with Organo, in the last 2 years, when we were introduced for the BU, I mean, I've been taking care of my skin since I was 12 years old because I was marketing some products. So I learned the importance of taking care of my skin. And I'm like, OMG. I mean, I was like, astounded. I'm like, this is incredible. We have the coffee that we're all addicted to, and it's healthy. It's got the Ganoderma lucidum in it, and we're patented by it. I mean, there's no other Ganoderma out there that could say that we are original and we have the organic certified, Ganoderma lucidum. Wow, that's phenomenal. I love coffee. I love tea. Blah. Then we added the OGX Phoenix, the protein, which is healthy, amazing, delicious. I hated protein, but I drank it because I knew it was good for me. And I remember I would add all this kind of fruits and vegetables just to mix it up and blend it. But when I tried OGS Phoenix, the vanilla with ice, I was like, this is like delicious. It was so good. And now when I add the carrots and my kale and my spinach, wow, it blows your mind the taste it has. So then now when we were introduced to BU, I mean, everybody's more into nutrition and into taking care of themselves, but they still want to be pampered with the coffee, the teas, the lattes. We got all that. And guess what? Just before the pandemic, we introduced Travala. I was so happy when we were in Florida and we introduced Travala. I love to travel. I never had the time. I never had the money. I never had the knowledge. I never had the resource. Now I have it in my back office. Now I can travel. I mean, I started using it. We went to Myrtle Beach. We got the hotel. We got the rental. We got the airfare. It was amazing. And because it was the first time, we're very curious. I compare prices from out of Travala with Travala. And guess what? I save money. I add points to my back office. So this is really great. And now I'm getting into the new deal that I never did the timeshare. I mean, I used to go to hotels and they would give us like free this to introduce us to the timeshare. But I'm like, no. This, I cannot commit to something. I could barely make it every month. How am I going to commit to a payment every year? Yeah, it's a great opportunity. You get to travel, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, no, guess what? Travala has that. And I don't have to commit on a monthly payment. I don't have to commit on some kind of requirements that maybe I wasn't able to have. So all this stuff is going on in Organo. how can I not be excited? It's balancing so many things in my life that I know it will do the same for you. Just get information, get connected. We have OG Academy. It has been the most beautiful system I've ever encountered in my life. I've known distributors that I would not have met if it wasn't because of the great technology. The quarantine, it has been a phenomenal for me. It has been a great opportunity for me with my 5 kids in my house. Remember, they were out of college. They came, they got their own apartments. My girls are about to graduate. One of them is a third year in college, and the other one is about to go to college. I got to enjoy them in my apartment, in my own house, all 5 of us. And you know what the beautiful thing was? We didn't fight. We didn't argue. We all were doing our own thing, and then we would come and have dinner or have breakfast or have lunch, and then we'll go back and they would, hey, you guys want to watch a movie? Or I will work out on my Zoom. Who wants to work out with me? I will get connected to the calls. I was still being training. This has been a great opportunity for people like myself. I mean, I love to travel, but you know what? If I could hold off, and now what you think is the first thing I want to do as soon as this whole thing is under control? Travel. Right now we have a package. You buy 1 week, you get a second week. I mean, we have so much. That's just me talking about the gourmet coffee, the gourmet drinks, talking about our protein, our nutrition, and talking about our beauty, not only inside but also on the outside, and or vice versa. And now Travala. And you know what? I don't have to be investing all this money in different companies or in this office or in this location for me to have those facilities, not only for myself, but to also have customers that want to take advantage of that, or have distributors that want to develop it as a business. Those are the 3 key things in this industry. You become your own customer, you consume your own product, you become knowledgeable, you're a result of it, and you feel confident because you feel good about it. And then other people will buy it from you. And if they want to just buy the product, that's awesome. If they want to become distributors, that's great. There's potential in every way, and not everybody has to do what you're doing. You have to respect other people's ability of understanding something, just like when I was in that phase of my life. So keep proving to yourself you are the reflection of who you are, and people like you, they're gonna want to be around you. If they want to see, if they like your results, or they like how you're doing and how you're speaking or how you're carrying yourself, they if that's what they want and they're ready for it, they will call you and they will come along with you and be a part of it. Now, what's the next thing? Oh my God. Right now, with everything that is going on, in the majority, 80% of the people are stressing out. They're like, how am I going to make ends meet? What's going on? I lost my career. I'm stuck at home. I have no knowledge in computers. I have no knowledge in all these changes. I'm not ready for it. Guess what? If you're stressing out and you have no idea what to do, guess what? Mr. Paul Caldwell came out with this phenomenal idea. I was like blown away. I didn't really look into it in the beginning, but I like to learn. I like to see anything that comes into my business, and I want to learn because I don't want to be the last one to know what happened. So because I was closing my tax season, I didn't get in to register or get the product. But guess what I'm going to do right now? As soon as I'm off this call, that's going to be the first thing. I'm going to order my cognition. I saw a YouTube that sports industry is doing this for athletes. That is brain, like it's working with your brain. I have no full knowledge of it, but you know what? Anything I'm saying right now, the beautiful thing is you can go back to our OG Academy. We have videos of people that are training on each subject, on each particular trade. If you want to learn about BU, go in there. We have a video. If you want to learn about our gourmet drinks, go in there. We have it. If you want to learn how I lost from 25 to 30 pounds, and how we have other testimonies, and how we're working from home with an app that we have in OGX, in OGX, which is xforever.club. And you want to download that app and learn more about the nutritions, the regimens. We have all that in our computer, in our iPhone. I barely use the computer. I only use it for the Zooms because I still don't know how to use my iPhone. But it's there. And if you want to learn about Travala, it's there. If you want to learn about about cognition, it's there. We already have people training in Spanish and in English. We have all these videos, I mean, all these web Zoom meetings that are already training. Imagine 6 minutes of your time. You sit in front of your computer with some 3D glasses, and it's just all work. 6 minutes working your brain, just like I do 30 minutes of working my muscles, working my body. That's exactly what that is. But focusing on your brain, and it's gonna give you the clarity. It's gonna give you all this that we need right now that everybody's stressing out, or the majority of people are stressing out. This is something that we need. It gives you more energy, it gives you clarity, it gives you all this according to the resources that I went into to look into. Okay, so that's phenomenal. That's like great. That's wow. I mean, it blows your mind just by saying wow. Just like I go work out, now I could work out my brain. That is like wow. I mean, I'm astounded. Like this is amazing. And then the other thing is now remember that any business you want to have a pipeline. I remember when I was a loan officer, we called it a pipeline. We had this, this all these clients that we count that we would do. We have now the funnel, rapid funnel for you to keep track. I just downloaded my app. Monse did a great training on it. Like I said, I was closing my taxes in which I'm still kind of behind, but I took the training with Monse, and it was incredible. Incredible. I was like, wow, you mean, oh my God, this is great. So now we could have an app. They will literally take all your contacts in your cell phone, and you could transfer them to that app, and you can literally start sending them videos, start sending them contacts, info. But you know what I learned? I was listening to a call from I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, which I really love these trainings, is that right now is the moment. I remember this so well because it touched my heart. If you notice, I'm a very emotional person. I love people. I love if I cannot help you in something, I feel bad. So I try to always try to do something good for myself that I can also do good for you. So when he was saying make a goal to do 50 calls after this call 50 people, any random just any random number in your cell phone. Call 50 people and tell them hello, how are you? I just wanted to see how you were doing. I was thinking of you. You know how powerful that is? I mean, I did that and I felt so good. I think I feel better than the person that received my call, but I'm pretty sure they felt good too. So we're quarantined. A lot of people are still applying themselves. A lot of people are still working at home. A lot of people are still doing the safety requirements, and they're staying home or for whatever reason. Um, so doing that, how can I create a funnel and take advantage of my contacts if I have not built a relationship or care about them prior to me running into a business? So that's one of the things that I kind of like put together. Quote me wrong if you want, but I think this business is not only a business, it's a lifestyle. It became a lifestyle to me because I get up, I clean my face with my products. And they're natural. I drink a gourmet coffee, which is also delicious and healthy. I work out with my app that it's amazing put together, with workouts that goes according to my level, and it's online. It's on my business. Then I come and I do trainings, which it's amazing. OG Academy, like I said before, I'm very, very grateful that they've done this because ever since the whole thing has been going on, I have had more training in this past 5 months than I've had in a lifetime that I've been in the multi-level business. That time opened up my mind and my spirit and my soul to learn here what Organo has done with OG Academy has been phenomenal. And if you have not taken all those trainings, what I do is I have a Chicago Organo Facebook, and I post everything there. Why? Because I want to go back and re-listen to something. I want to go back and say, oh my God, like that call. I mean, I just re-listened to it, the one that took 3 weeks ago, and I re-listened to it last night. That's why I'm motivated, because that inspired me. So with that being said, There's so many things going on. OG pays. I don't want to miss out. But you know, when 2 years ago, when we were introduced, or a year ago, a little more of over a year ago in Florida, when we were introduced to this new concept of building the business, I was like, how is that going to happen? How am I going to do it? I mean, people get overwhelmed. Don't. Learn one trade at a time. Learn one trade at a time. Like, I don't feel bad that I'm saying, oh, I'm about to get cognition. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad because I have it there. And I could take advantage of it when I'm ready, right? I was closing my tax season. Now I'm ready. I have the 6 minutes that I can dedicate to it because I want to be so productive and efficient. I would like to try it out. And I want to be able to say, hey guys, it's amazing. You need to try it out. But just by the fact that I see other people out in the world, athletes and professionals, millionaires doing this thing, I know it's a good thing. And the fact that Mr. Paul Caldwell put it in our system, on our ecosystem, just tells me that this is something that I need to implement in my life. But what I'm trying to say is we have all this in our ecosystem business. You need to understand that you're gonna grow in your level. You're gonna apply as you're ready to expose. So the faster you take all these trainings, we have them online. Back in when I was doing my personal system, I had to pay for seminars, I had to pay for conventions, I had to travel, and I needed the time. So here we have everything online, and you don't have to pay a membership. You don't have to do all this stuff on certain, like right now. You don't have to pay to get on Zoom. Even if you don't have Facebook, you still have Zoom and it's free or blah, blah, blah. So all this training that we have for you to exceed in your organo business and apply those principles to whatever you're doing. If you're house cleaning, if you're working at a job, if you're working out, if you whatever you're doing with your family, with your life, you start applying those principles to be there and give 100% and learn as much as you can. You are going to be so at peace within yourself. And if you're not at peace within yourself, you can't give peaceful. And right now, everybody wants to feel the love, the care, the hope, that hope that got me into this industry. We're all looking for that. I love this quote that I received on my email earlier. It said, thanks to the technology, a lot of people are in need. I mean, there's people that want food, and I send them the links. I send them the addresses. I send them the locations where they can go pick up pantry. There's nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful. To see the community coming stronger and helping those in those needs, it's phenomenal. And to see that I have that potential, I have the resource to say, okay, you want to develop yourself and develop a healthy, efficient, magnificent business with you at heart as you go along, this is the industry. Organo has given us the ecosystem, has exceeded all the expectations. It has done great in my life. It has done great in so many people. I think I could have not have continued this business with this model if I had not been ready for it. But you know what? When I saw Mr. Paul Caldwell the first time, his humbleness just won my heart. He wasn't about fencing you up. This business is structured in a way that you are going to succeed. He said, I don't want to see you making so much and then losing it because you're not ready. That's my interpretation. Maybe he didn't say it in those words, but that was my interpretation. With him saying that, I'm here and I'm grateful I am. Quarantine or no quarantine, this has been the deal for me. And I'm pretty sure it's the deal for so many people. And I've seen testimonies. Like I said, get on OGO Academy, look at all the stories, and you are going to be amazed how many people are not questioning what's going on. They're actually doing something about it. And this is the solution for so many. This is the hope. This is the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel that you'll be looking for. And this is exactly what it was for me. And it has been for so many people, and it's going to be for so many others. And it's up to me, my responsibility, to share this out there. Let's find those people. Let those people know that we are where we at thanks to all the development. So I want to thank you for connecting to this call. Like I said, OJ Academy has been amazing. It has everything that we need, the resources. And if you have any questions, get together with the person that invited you. I just want to tell you that this is simple. It's easy. It's Organo. Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Organo. Thank you, OJ Academy. Thank you, Blanca Saturas, for everything that you're doing with Latinos Unidos. Also, I am very grateful to that platform in this industry. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.